How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna redo the video. I already had a couple videos about passengers, but I want to add a couple new things, right? So first, if you're going to take a passenger, I highly recommend, if you can't already easily do my white belt drills and my blue belt drills out of my MotoJitsu program, then I don't think you're good enough yet to even take a passenger. So, and if you do take a passenger for the first time, doing it in an environment like this where you could kind of ride around and they could get used to what you're doing, we have to be able to tell them, and you have to be able to know how to get on, how to get off, what to do for stoplights, what to not do, what to never do, right? What do you do for corners? You have to be able to know all that stuff to tell them, because you are 100% responsible for everything they do or don't do. So if you don't know any of that stuff, I don't recommend taking a passenger. There's a lot of theories, whatever works best for you about how to get a passenger on the bike. Left side, right side, kickstand up, kickstand down, where they held on to, it's just all whatever works best for you. This is what I found to be the easiest. So first I have the bike in gear, and I usually just leave the kickstand down, or maybe I put it up. Either way, I've done this both ways, and I understand the reasons for both. If I put it up and I get the passenger on, once I'm ready to go, I can keep my feet on the ground and just go. If I have the kickstand down, once the passenger's on, now I have to balance with one foot, then put the kickstand up and then go. I understand the pros and cons of each, so just do whatever you think is best for you. Next, whenever they come on to take a passenger, the main thing is you don't want them to pull you down, you want them to come straight up. So I got my buddy Bill here from Moto Tips, so he's gonna be my passenger. And this is exactly what I tell any passenger. So let me get the foot pegs down. So this is what I tell them. I want you to put very specifically, I don't just tell them climb on, because you might do something crazy. So I don't care who they are, they could be professional passengers, I tell everybody the same thing. I want you to put your left foot on the peg, grab the top case, grab my shoulder somewhere, and once I tell you I'm ready, then I want you to stand up and over and try not to pull me over. So I got the front brake, both feet are flat on the ground, steady on the front brake. I know the bike is gonna be pulled this way a little bit, so I'm bracing myself, right? I'm getting ready to go. Elbows are up, I don't wanna be down, so I'm all weak, so I'm like, okay, ready. Now once they get on the bike, so this bike is great, right? So I got the top case that has a little back for him, and he's got handles down here by the sides, and that's what I would tell him, you got the handles down there. If not, I would tell him, whenever I'm going to accelerate, you kind of have to grab onto my jacket or wrap your arms around when I'm going to accelerate. So every time there's a green light or I go take off at a stop sign, and whenever I'm going to brake, you can either put your hands on the tank, or you can kind of brace yourself with one hand around me and one hand on my back to brace yourself so you're not go flying forward, right? But because this bike has handles, I just tell them to hold on to the handles, right? So now what you have to do is anticipate what's going on. So you can't just be a passenger like, oh, I'm not paying attention to anything. You have to pay attention to what we're doing. The light's green up there, it just turned yellow, you know I'm gonna be braking. So you kind of have to like lean back and kind of brace yourself so you're not going to go slam forward. Light turns green, don't just be one-handed, no hands, whatever, just kind of playing around, because you're gonna be taking off. You know I have to take off, right? But I tell people this, and it works every time. I've taken people parking lots, twisty mountain roads, and on the track, I tell people the same things. I don't want you to move. I want you to be a sack of potatoes. You will always be dead center, even with the bike. No matter what I'm doing, I might get off to the inside, off to the outside. I just want you to be upright. And this is why. I could ride the bike, and it's my responsibility to know how to ride. If I just strap a 200-pound rock to this bike, no problem. If that rock randomly starts to move and I'm not expecting that rock to move, it's gonna throw me off. It may not make me crash, it may if he does something really stupid, but if the rock just stays still, it's fine, it's just added weight. It's like putting a bunch of luggage. But if that rock starts to, so when I'm going through the twisties, right, unless he could connect to my brain somehow, like Neuralink, Elon Musk, how fast I move my body to the inside dictates how fast I want the bike to lean. So when I move my body, unless he's so connected with me that he can lean exactly when I'm leaning at the right time for the right reasons, there's no way I want him to move, because it's my responsibility to know what I'm doing, not his. He just has to trust me and not move. That's the whole idea. So on the bike, we're all riding around, blah, blah, whatever. So then we get off the bike, how to dismount, right? So I come to a stop. I probably won't put the kickstand down, or maybe I will. Again, whatever you want to do. So I put the kickstand down. I say the same thing. And if they start to move, sometimes I've had passengers when we come to a stop, they start to jump off. I'm like, dude, don't move until I tell you I'm ready. Like, make sure you brace yourself. So both feet down, I'm squeezing the front brake, I'm bracing myself. Okay, ready. And I just tell them to kind of stand up, then get off at the same way you just got on. And there we go. That's how to get on and off. and like a little speech I would tell pretty much everybody if we're actually going out riding around. Now when you have a passenger on there, everything is literally identical. Nothing changes technique-wise when I have a passenger of anything I'm doing. The only thing that changes, I just feel a little bit more weight. So maybe I have to do things a tad bit earlier because it takes a tad bit longer to get the thing to lean, but that's very minute. It's just more weight. It's not a technique difference. So I want to demonstrate that. So same thing, left foot on the foot peg, grab the top case, grab my shoulder, stand up and over, ready. All right, you got your hands down by your handlebars right there. All right, so everything that I'm about to do, and I haven't done this with you before, so I'm gonna kind of freak you out a little bit. Your only goal in life is to stay dead center in the middle of the windshield. Don't move one side to the other. You can move your head as much as you want, but try not to go side to side. All right, here we go. Everything is the same. Clutch, rear brake, no clutch. One foot, one hand. You can stand up if I want to. Freak them out if I want to by doing this. It's like a roller coaster. If I had my knee tucks on, I could go knee down. Pretty close, pretty close. So if I'm firmly planted, so if the passenger is kind of erratic and don't really listen too well, what I would do, depending on the passenger, come to a stop, I probably would put the kickstand down and like maybe not put it on the kickstand, but at least be ready to, because I know this person is gonna be very erratic jumping off. But if they actually know what they're doing, I'll leave it up, just come to a stop and I'll say, all right, ready. And I just know they won't do anything crazy. They could get off the bike and then maybe I'll just get off the bike and then I wanna be like, oh, they got off the bike and there's cars right here, and now I'll back up into the spot with 200 pounds less on the bike. So if you're parking it, there's no reason. I've seen this happen a million times. Guy has a big old Harley, whatever, got the passenger on the back. They try to back up and park the thing with them on it. Like, dude, kick them off the bike, and then you can just back up into the spot. It makes it a lot easier. But either way, you can't do white belt and blue belt drills with the passenger. I don't recommend taking one. You're simply not good enough. And I know you may think you're a hot shot and you can ride on the highway and just, oh, I'm good. You don't have the technical skills to swerve, to stop, to what to tell the person, what not to tell the person. You just don't have the ability to take passengers. And it's 100% your responsibility to know what you're doing, and it's 100% your fault if anything happens. Plus, I don't recommend taking a passenger unless they're geared up. How many times have you seen the guy on the bike in full leathers and the girl's on the back with shorts and a t-shirt? Dude, that's ridiculous. So you don't have full gear, don't take them. If they don't have full gear at all, well, I guess they're not riding with you. I went for a ride before. I went to go pick up my friend, and she came out with like tennis shoes on and normal jeans and a jacket. I'm like, I thought you have riding pants. Where's your boots? Like, oh, you know, I don't feel like wearing it today. We're just going for a ride. I'm like, sorry, ain't coming with me. Full gear. That's my requirement. If you're not in full gear, you're not coming on the back. So there we go. Get out there and practice with the passenger in an enclosed, safe environment. Everybody fully geared up.